Happy Thursday, everybody. I kind of say the day just to remind myself sometimes and just as a reminder to others because I know with how crazy schedules are, not being able to leave the house, sometimes you kind of forget what day of the week it is at this point. And so here we are on Thursday, and I want to just read to you for just a moment out of Psalm 68 and really four powerful verses, verses 7 through 10 describing the power of God. And so let me read these to you because I want to be able to break them down a little bit further. Verse 7, O God, when you went out before your people, when you marched through the wilderness, the earth shook. The heavens also dropped rain at the presence of God. Sinai itself was moved at the presence of God, the God of Israel. You, O God, sent a plentiful rain, whereby you confirmed your inheritance when it was weary. Your congregation dwelt in it. You, O God, provided from your goodness for the poor. As I read these verses, I couldn't help but think of the power and the might and the strength that God exemplified, especially in the Old Testament, as he led the Israelites out of captivity, as he led them through Joshua to take the promised land and all that was there. It was unmistakable that God was with them. And I thought, you know what? Is that true today? Can we see that in the people of God today? Is it unmistakable that God is with us, that God is moving in our midst? Can the world look and see God is at move there at Vienna First Baptist? God is at move in the lives of those people that are there. When I read these verses, listen to this. When you went out before your people, when you marched through the wilderness, even in the darkest times, you could see that God was leading them, that God was with them, but God was before them as well. God is all around us. And when this happens, verse 8, the earth shook, the heavens also dropped rain at the presence of God. Sinai itself was moved at the presence of God, the God of Israel. It was unmistakable. People could see it. The earth shook. It's this idea of mountains being moved, if you will, by the faith of God's people moving in accordance with his will. And so I want you to think about that. If we are living the lives that God has called us to live, it should be unmistakable from everyone else around us. People should be able to see that, you know what, they are following God. There's no other way that their lives could be the way they are. There's no other way that the church could be the way it is. It is simply a move of God happening in their midst. You, O God, sent a plentiful rain, whereby you confirmed your inheritance when it was weary. You know that God's presence with us, God's demonstration through us, is actually a confirmation to others and really to ourselves as well, that we are in fact walking in his will. Now, that doesn't mean that everything on the outside will be perfect, but it does mean that what you see in the lives of believers should be absolutely supernatural, should be something apart from them they can't accomplish. God will take us to the furthest limit of what we can do, and then he will push us further, knowing that we can't do it. He has to do it through us. And so can God be seen in your life? Can God be seen in the life of this church? And if not, why not? Guys, that is a beautiful picture of what walking with God should look like. And that is a picture that we should yearn for, desire for, and work toward in our own lives, in our families, and in our church. Guys, have a great day, and I look forward to being able to worship with you guys once again. I love you.